What is going on, my nerds? Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. We are doing a playthrough today of Rhyhorn, the Spikes Pokemon. Let the games begin. We are continuing with our playthrough of Pokemon Blue Generation 1 playthrough in order of the Pokédex. We beat this Pokemon pretty handily, kind of explain some ins and outs of this Pokemon. So I'll go and explain this first. We actually go right for our second rival battle. Rhyhorn has 80 HP, 85 attack, and 95 defense. Special and speed kind of garbage. I'll go over those a little bit later. But I went right for this attack because since the fact that our defense is so high, and we're rock ground type, our rival only has Pidgey and Bulbasaur, and they only have normal attack moves. Well, Pidgey has Sand Attack, but they only have normal moves. So I was like, they're not going to do any damage to me. Gust only does 2 damage altogether. So if I can just, get these attacks off, I can knock this Pokemon out pretty well. So as you can see, we're missing a lot of attacks here, and that's because we got Sand Attack. But also being a level lower, look how much damage we're doing to Bulbasaur. Every time we hit, it does about I would say it's a quarter, but it does a good amount of damage. So right here, it gets a little bit scary, but we're only taking 1 damage from Bulbasaur. If he would have Leech Seeded us, we probably would have lost this battle, but we get the win nonetheless. So the early part of the game here is we just need to get levels. This Pokemon is in what's called the slow level up group. It levels up very slowly, but the benefit to that is every time you get a level, your stats increase mightily more or marginally more than they would if you had a fast level up growth rate or something like that. So you do get more bang for your buck when you get levels. That's why rare candies in this game are late are so important. And getting a lot of battles early actually helps mitigate that slow growth rate. So you get to a point where the game is manageable. So we always start the game with a Horn Attack. It's a 65 base power normal move. It's not bad because it works well with our attack stat. We have a very high attack. It's a normal attacking move, physical damaging move, and it works well with it. So we beat the 2 trainers there, and usually those trainers can be difficult. But to save myself time, usually I'll go through the Bug Forest, go to Pewter City, train or heal, and then I'll double back and go fight a rival. But I was like, you know what? I'll just fight the rival now, and it was a risk that paid off. I think it saved me about a minute or two just to travel back. The battle might have been more consistent. I might have knocked him out easier because I've been higher level. But yeah. So now we're fighting the Million Light Years trainer in Brock's gym. He's called that because he says you're a million light years from beating Brock. Diglett is a 2-shot, very easy. Sandshrew is also very easy. The only downside is it could Sand Attack us, but it does not. So we get the knockout pretty easy. So we leave Brock's gym and we come back here and we decide to try to face him off at level 16. Now the good news is with Brock, his Pokemon only have normal moves and we are also ground type. That means we will resist his moves just as much as he will resist our moves. So if he ever doesn't attack, you'll kind of see what I mean. So he's just defense curling, probably because he knows he ain't gonna do much. So that's 2 damage. So that's fantastic. Now ours isn't no better. Don't get me wrong. Ours isn't any better because but we started attacking long before he did all of his defense curls, and so we're doing just a little bit more damage than him. If we get a critical hit, we can knock him out pretty quick. But it is what it is. We get the knockout at this juncture right there. Okay, cool. So we have a lot of health going into Onix. Now Onix is scary because one Onix can use Screech, which lowers my defense. Not going to do too much if it lowers my defense because we're still pretty bulky and we still have high defense. That's not the issue. See, even with Screech a couple times, it only does 2 damage. Now the problem here is Brock has a move called Bide. So Bide, whatever damage we do, will double back. The good news on that is we're not doing a lot of damage because we are also using a normal type move and he's resisted. Now we got down the Struggle. Struggle worked very well. It's a 50 base power normal move, but it has recoil. But we get the win. A pretty pretty convincing win, I should say. Route 3, you can go ahead and watch the battles. I ain't gonna talk too much about it. It's a lot of one-shots. We have high attack with a normal attacking move. It does a lot of damage to all the Pokemon that we face here. And again, I'll probably try to get a couple extra levels. So you're going to see, I usually don't fight that. You could skip over some trainers here if we wanted to, but we don't. Just because I want to get these extra levels. Because the next struggle in this game is coming. Okay, the next struggle in this game is coming. And you probably know what it is if you've ever seen a Pokemon playthrough before of Generation 1. We're rock ground, and the next gym leader is a wall. And it is a wall that this giant rock rhinoceros has to somehow power through like the Kool-Aid Man. Alright, so let me go over stats. So I went over the HP is 80, attack is 85, 95 defense. Special is only 30. And speed is only 25. So in Generation 1, special covers special defense and special attack. It's all one stat. Okay, in future generations they split it up, but in Gen 1 it's just one one uniform stat. So we can't take hits from things that are special, and we can't deal out a lot of damage with things that are special. That's the downside of this Pokemon, okay? We also are very slow, so we're not going to go first a lot of times. Now, right now we're over leveled, so we are going first, but we're going to come across some things that are very fast, and there's practically no way around that. That's just the nicest way, the best way I can put it. There's just no way around it. There are ways to mitigate it, and we'll come across that a little bit later, but that's the struggles we have with this Pokemon. And then when you look at our moveset, if you didn't watch my prediction video, I'll go ahead and just tell you a little bit of it. So we get no ground moves via level. We get Horn Attack and Stomp are pretty much the only two level up moves we're actually going to use. We're not going to use any other ones. Tail Whip, Fury Attack, Horn Drill, Leer, and Takedown are ones we're not going to use. Okay, so looking right now, we're in Mount Moon. A lot of Mount Moon is pointless. The moves that we can get, if I ever play through with Rhyhorn, it will probably be very useful. Because there's water, there's Mega Punch. This Pokemon cannot learn Mega Punch. It is on all fours, so it's not based on its physiology. It just can't do a standing move. Like punching is what Rhyhorn can do. Because look, top left corner, that's Rhyhorn. So it's upright, it can stand, it can punch, it can kick, it can do a lot of things. It actually can use water moves too. It's kind of amazing. But nothing in Mount Moon is important really, because nothing there is super difficult. Nothing has special, nothing at all. So now we're in, I almost lost this battle too, it kind of scared me. Now we're in Misty's gym, we're just trying to get some experience points before we go face the third rival fight. We've pretty much dominated the rival up to this point pretty handily. So I had to go out and heal real quick because I forgot that Horsey had Bubble. I know that the Goldeen up here does not have Bubble, it just says Peck. So I'm not worried about that, Peck's not going to do a lot of damage to me. But I was like, darn, I almost got beat by a damn Horsey. Never lost that trainer before in my life. I'm not going to start now. Now, I'll pause the timer here. And I'm going to face Misty just for the educational purposes. We are actually higher level than Misty right now. I just want to show everyone how bad this battle is going to be and how tough she is going to be. 4 levels higher. Now, she goes for next defense. That actually gives me an opportunity to attack. Okay, and she does a water gun. Look how much damage water gun does. Did not crit, did not nothing. Okay? So I'm not going to... Even if I get by her, I'm definitely not going to outspeed the Bubble Beam. Or the Starmie. Starmie has water gun and Bubble Beam. She'd probably do just as bad. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and face our rival. Our rival, Pidgeot goes down pretty quick. Abra goes down pretty quick. Rattata goes down in one hit. And I don't know if the Bulbasaur goes down in one hit. It does not. Vine Whip, it does a massive damage, and I thought we were going to lose here, but we also miss. So I thought we were going to lose. If they gone for Vine Whip again, we would have lost, but we'll take the win. We'll move on. And Nugget Bridge is pretty nice because it's the best conglomeration of a bunch of experience points you can get all in one place. It's really nice. So many of the things here, if not all the things here. So we just got outsped by a level 14 Pidgey. That's how bad our speed is. All the things here are trivial battles for the most part. Everything's a 1 or 2 shot. I don't think anything here is a 3 shot, unless maybe Mankey might be a 3 shot, because Mankey is, I think, has pretty decent defense, and it's a normal type move, so it might actually resist it because it's fighting. So, like I said, a lot of the battles here are pretty trivial. They're not very, not much of a big deal. They're not, not scary, if that's the best way to put it. So yeah, but back to the Pokemon. So what are some benefits of this Pokemon? Well, like I said, the attack, the defense, and the HP, all 3 are extremely good with this Pokemon. And later in the game, we get some moves that really coincide very well with this Pokemon. With this Pokemon stats. And the downside of this Pokemon is we don't have good speed, which we're going to mitigate that. There's a thing we can buy in the game called, they're vitamins, but they're called carbs. And they can actually boost your speed. And we can also buy calciums. Both of those calciums up your specials. So special, and it's not going to do a whole lot, okay? But there's also one other way to mitigate that, and that's with using what's called a badge boost. Using the badge boost glitch. So later in the game, we'll get a move called Mimic, and we can use that to badge boost. I'm really surprised this Rock Pokemon can't use Harden. I thought it would for sure be on its moveset, but it's not. And we're getting to the end of the Nugget Bridge right now. And like I said, these battles are pretty trivial. We just got to be able to hit something, and he'll go down in almost one hit. So level 23, we're still not even anywhere near close to being able to beat Misty. So keep that in mind that we have to get so many more levels. I'll show you every battle that I have to face, but I have to face a lot of extra battles in this playthrough. Every rock Pokemon's had that struggle. Every single rock Pokemon's had that struggle. I think the only ground Pokemon I didn't have that struggle with was Diglett, because it was just so much faster. So I didn't quite have that struggle with Diglett. But for sure, Onix, Geodude, and now Rhyhorn all have had the struggle of having to get by Misty in a reasonable manner and just not being able to because they don't outspeed. Diglett's very fast, so that helps it. And if you get hit, Diglett's hit, it's pretty much out because it doesn't have a very high hit points or defense, or I don't think it has a high special. It has high attack and high speed. That's pretty much it. But we're facing this trainer right now, and there's really nothing we have that's extremely great against this trainer. We are higher level, and our attack is pretty nice. It's a 65 base power move, so we're getting through this with a decent amount of hits. So now we're going to go for Bide just to save ourselves some power points. And we're going to release it back. He ain't doing much damage. Karate Chop's a normal type move. So whenever it's hitting us, it's just not doing a lot of damage. Which is kind of weird why Brock has Bide. Bide, for Brock, he's a rock type Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon early are going to have normal type moves. So he's not going to take a lot of damage. So Bide to me, like, this is showcases to me how dumb Bide is. Like, we just took all that damage to knock out a Pokemon, and we had to dwindle our health. We pretty much took zero. Like, we didn't give that as much damage as we should have. That's the best way to put it. And we'll go ahead and Bide, tackle, Bide, tackle, back, tackle, Bide. And we're running out of power points. That's why we're using Bide so much. Wouldn't use it much in this scenario, but it does give us the ability. Actually, it probably would have been better to use Struggle. Struggle would have been a lot better, although it would have depleted my health as well. Now, this trainer is very scary. This trainer is scary because it has two Oddishes that are level 13, and they're the worst thing in this game. No, I'm just kidding. It's just our typing is garbage against this Pokemon. So Absorb, which is the main move they use, is super effective against us. So that's the problem. And so Absorb could really, like, you can take it down and just replenish so much of their health, and we can get to it's a trade-off game. I'm trying to see what happens. I was just curious, like, what happens if I leave? Does he stay in there, or what? I can't progress through the game unless I do this, so I won't let you. But I thought I'd see, like, what do I do? What happens if I leave? He just gets out and just hangs out again. I thought maybe he'd chase me. That'd been fun. I got in a click battle there with myself. Like, let's just keep clicking, JD, see what happens. So we get the SSN ticket, and we're going to dig, or we're going to escape rope all the way back to Cerulean City. And we're going to fight this guy. I usually don't put this fight in there. But this guy gives us a very important move that does help us progress this game pretty well. And that way we don't have Bide as our second move. We can have something else. We can make Horn Attack our second move, make something else our main move. Okay, so we beat this guy pretty handily. And he gives us the TM for Dig. So Dig is a 100 base power, 100% accurate move. But with our stab, it's 150 base power. So it's very powerful. Okay, now I got that. I'm going to pause the timer here in a second. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to showcase still, even with this move, even with higher levels than we did last time, how difficult Misty is going to be. I just thought I'd show you. This is just for educational purposes. So now we're going to try Dig. Water Gun almost one-shots me. Now we one-shot her. That's not the issue. Bubble Beam. So Misty has what's called good AI. She will always go for the most effective move possible. You have like a percentage chance that she might go for X Defend, which is good because it ups her defense and gives you a chance to attack her. But if she goes for a water move, you're done. Okay, if she gets a critical hit on a water gun, you're done. The first Pokemon can do that too. Now, luckily, we're going to outspeed the Staryu, but Starmie is a different animal. We have to just luck into a win with them. Trust me. Okay, so we beat these Pokemon. 0 to Hero. Spear would take the 0 and Eradicate the Eradicate. Forgot that joke. It's fine. So now we're on the SSN, and SSN gives us at least a couple more good things. We get a rare candy. There's a couple other items, high price items, an ether, things like that. But the big thing we get on here is Body Slam. Body Slam is an 85 base power and 100% accurate normal move. and it works very well with our attack stat. If we didn't have a good attack stat, it would be worthless. But we have a great attack stat, and with this attack stat, it gives us another move in our arsenal. So Horn Attack is probably not going to be used much more unless we run low on power points. But Body Slam is just significantly better, significantly more reliable. So there we go. I'm move around. And Body Slam is going to be a one. Oh, it's not going to be a one shot. I'm sorry. But we are level 25. Keep that in mind. We're 26 now. We're pretty high level. And we're going to get the knockout here. Very good. And so now our Kadabra comes out. Kadabra, a special attack from Kadabra will probably do a lot, but our physical damaging, we got lucky here. Again, our rival is not very dumb. This just shows how the rival early in the game just does randomized moves. Okay. Now we are at 49 minutes. We came back to fight Misty, and this is going to at this point, I'm pretty sure we fought every trainer. I think we have. We're gonna see. I don't remember if I fought every trainer and came back, or I fight here and then come back later after fighting a lot more trainers. So now we're gonna reset, and this is just about, I guess, luck is the best way to put it. We still don't outspeed the Staryu, so Staryu will always go for it's gonna be Water Gun or X Defend. It has Tackle, but it's not. There's no point in it using Tackle ever. Okay, so the only hope we have here is that Starmie goes for X Defend. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted. Problem is, it doesn't knock it out, and it's not going to go for 2 X Defense, so Bubble Beam gets the one-hit knockout. So we're going to try this again. And really, we're just waiting for the perfect, what's called RNG, or random number generation. So we're going to try for Dig again. Now, that's best case scenario, because Staryu is not going to be high enough defense to survive. And all we got to do is, okay, so we get knocked out again. So that was best case scenario for the first Pokemon. What we need both of them to go for X Defend or something like that. Or Staryu to not go for X Defend, but to miss an attack. That would be great too. So like I said, there's literally no point in grind. We did go get 2 more levels. Okay, so we did go grind. So our defense is up a lot more, so we able to tank that one hit. So that Water Gun still knocks us out. So that's fantastic. Alright, so maybe this is the Misty battle. One of them we get, obviously, or maybe it's a whole video where it's just Misty losses all the way till the end of the video. We'll see. You're about as surprised as I am. Okay, so that's best case scenario. And the reason why it's best case scenario, if Misty just goes for or X Defend, that's amazing. X Defend's amazing. We don't knock her out. However, she does not do enough damage to me with the Water Gun. No critical hit, no nothing. Bubble Beam would have knocked me out, but that was the best. That was the perfect scenario for that playthrough, for that encounter. So I'm using Stomp. I don't know why I'm using Stomp here. I don't know why I would risk it, but I'm using Stomp because it's 65 base, but it's the same thing, but also has a option to help the other Pokemon and make the other Pokemon flinch. So that's probably why I'm using Stomp, and it's also more power points. And I just don't want to waste lose all my power points. Body Slam's a way better move. I don't know why I'm not using it. So sometimes I do some dumb things. All right, so we're getting through here, and we're going into Rock Tunnel. Rock Tunnel. Not really anything trivial in Rock Tunnel. You do have one part that you have to look out for. So you actually have 2. So there's a trainer with 2 trainers with Slowpokes, and Slowpoke has Confusion, which doesn't do too much, but it also can have Water Gun. I don't think it does, but it can have Water Gun. But there's also another trainer in here that's pretty scary, and it's the Status Condition trainer. She has 2 Grass Pokemon. So hopefully we can just get Body Slam. Okay, so Body Slam so we're wrecking everything right now. Our attack stat is working so well with all 3 of our attacks. So we're just one-shotting everything. We might not one-shot here. No, we don't. But Confusion doesn't actually do anything, and we move on. And now here is the Grass-type Status Condition trainer. As long as we go first, we'll knock them both out. Okay, so that was a concern I had, was going first for those battles. Now, the next trainer we fight is, Boomer. Boomer is the hiker in here who has 3 Pokemon that have self-destruct. So it's honestly not the scariest thing in the world to us. And also we have Dig. Dig will one-shot you every one of these. But self-destruct would do a decent amount of damage, except for our Pokemon has great defense, and self-destruct is classified as a normal type move, so it wouldn't do a lot of damage to us. It just usually it will with other Pokemon, but just not with this one. Having that high defense is very helpful. And now we're facing the final trainer we have to face before we leave Rock Tunnel. Rock Tunnel, like I said, it's not too much with Rock Tunnel. There's just a couple Pokemon trainers in there that could give you the business, but they don't. So we've made it to Celadon City. We've actually bought a couple things, so I'll go and explain that. So we got a couple carbs. What carbs do is when you give it to your Pokemon, it ups the option for it to maybe gain a little bit more in the stat category when you level up. Okay, we also, I don't think we've done it yet, but we're also going to eventually buy carbs, and then whenever we just are down to our last ability to get a couple extra vitamins, we might use proteins for attack. But we're in Rocket Tunnel, or Rocket Game Corners, hideout, whatever we'll call it. And we're in here, and I'm showing you this just because I'm kind of showing you a little bit of high-priced items we can get. So, Double Edge is a move I'm not going to move. We just picked that up right there, TM10. And we also picked up a nugget. So, there's a handful of nuggets in here that are great. So, later in the game, we need to buy more we need to buy a move, or we need to buy more vitamins. It's good to have at the fact that we picked up a bunch of stuff we could sell and have extra money. So this guy actually holds the key to getting to the rest of the game. Actually, he physically holds the key, but then he drops it, and then we pick it up, and we're able to use the elevator to get us to Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They're the guys that sit outside of Giovanni's office, I guess is what it is. His lair. Maybe it's a lair. I don't know. Depends on how you look at the villain. So his lair. So we haven't really added anything else to our moveset except for one move, and that is Rock Slide. Rock Slide is a 75 base power, 90% accurate move, but with our stab, it's 75 plus, half of that, so 37 and a half added to that, so it's an over 100 base power move. And what it does for us is, I don't know if you saw my prediction video, but like since our special's so low, there's some moves that we can learn, but they're not going to be that effective because our special is so low. For example, we can learn Thunderbolt. Do we have Thunderbolt on here? No, we got rid of it because we can't use it. Our attack is so low that Thunderbolt is not as useful against some things that we're going to face as, other moves are. Okay, go ahead and get Dig. Very good. Rock Slide, very good. So we have not faced Surge yet, so there's Surge. Okay. So we beat the crap out of Giovanni. So now we're facing Surge. I didn't skip Surge. It's just it didn't make sense to go all the way back to Misty and then go all the way down to Surge and go all the way back to Misty and then whatever. It's a minute out of our way. It's fine. It's great, and the battle is very trivial. We knock out all three of his Pokemon in one hit. It's a very good morning, good evening, good night. Get out of here, Blaine. Or Lieutenant Surge, sorry. Trash Man Lieutenant Surge. Now we're on to our 5th rival fight. So see, that's Thunderbolt. That right there was Thunderbolt. 36, level 36, like 10 levels higher at least, and we don't even knock it out. Now Rock Slide against Gyarados one-shots it because it coincides well with our physical attack and our stab. So that's why Thunderbolt, as much as I would love to keep Thunderbolt as part of the moves pool, it just doesn't do that much because our special isn't high. Now, in here, I believe this is where we level up to Rhydon. So a couple of these battles, they can be scary, and here's why they can be scary. If they go for normal attacking moves like Headbutt, they're not going to do squat to me. But special moves can do a lot now to us. So that's kind of the trade-off. Is special moves can do a lot of damage, and that's what the trainers in here have a lot of, is Psychic Pokemon. Psychic Pokemon are very high in special stat. They're not high in like defense, like we're one-shotting a lot of these Pokemon. See how much Confusion did right there? Confusion did so much damage right there. We could have lost this battle to a low-grade Juggler in Koga's gym because our special is so low that Confusion did so much damage, and it confused us. That didn't help either. But it did so much damage. So I just wanted to keep a track of the time, and the time is now in 12 minutes. Now it may seem like a lot, but we did spend a lot of time between Brock and Misty. I think we beat Misty in around like 53 minutes. Okay, Brock we got by at about 17 minutes. So we spent so much time between Brock and Misty just to get by Misty. So that's where a bulk of our time is. So between Misty on, we've faced we've done Pokemon Tower, we've done Team Rocket's hideout underneath the gaming corner. Okay, and we're just now in Koga's gym. So we've covered a lot of ground and done a lot of things since then. So it's actually not too bad once you get past Misty. Once you get past Misty, the game opens up. We don't have to worry too much about water Pokemon. There's not a lot of water Pokemon at that except what our rival has. And like I said, we have moves to kind of mitigate and kind of counter the things with that. So I'm facing this guy just because I think I need the experience. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but I want the experience. So Psychic, look how much Psychic does. Like, my goodness. And Dig gets a knockout. Good. So it does so much damage. And we evolve right here into Rhyhorn. Now, Rhyhorn, I have not gone over Rhyhorn's stats because he's not been relevant to this point. So Rhyhorn, his stats. So when we evolve, our stats get a massive boost. So HP goes all the way up to 105. So high HP, good, a lot of hit points, good. Attack is 130. So that's very good considering all of our moves that we have. Earthquake that we get, Dig, Rock Slide, Body Slam, all those moves are physical damaging moves. And then our defense goes to 120. Now our special goes up to 45 and our speed goes up to 40, so that's not horrible. So they get a little bit better. But like with the carbs and calciums that we gave, they should have a little bit of boost whenever we level up. Just a little bit more of a kick to it. So I don't think we'd have beat a lot of these battles without Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn definitely gets a big boost in all of his stats, and that really helps us. The HP, the attack, and the defense all like shoot up a good 40 points almost. Or not 40, all of them. HP I think was 105 with, yeah, okay. So now we're fighting Koga. Koga's team is not going to be super hard. We just have to not get poisoned, which it's very unlikely for us to get poisoned, but it can happen. But a lot of any of his poison moves like Sludge are not going to be super effective. And then Weezing comes out, he's going to self-destruct, and look how little damage that did to us. Did nothing. Just like brushed it off. So now I think it's the appropriate time to face Erica. And Erica's gym. So we have Body Slam, we don't have Stomp anymore, do we? We have Body Slam, we have Earthquake, we have Ice Beam. We have a lot of moves that can just one-shot pretty much everything in here. Now here's the downside to this. Again, Ice is special, and Grass is weak to Ice. However, it just doesn't do a lot of power because we haven't reached the point where Special's high enough where it works in conjunction and works well with special moves that are considered special. Ice Beam is considered special, so it's not working very well with it. So we're really just finishing up all of these trainers. We're polishing them off. And yeah, we got last. We just have 2 more trainers to fight here, and then we can face Erica and get her badge. Now Erica, you can actually wait a little bit longer to face this, but you just can't use strength without her. So, and got 1 more trainer here, and this is going to be a one-shot, I think. Earthquake, yep, one-shot. So now we can move on to Sabrina. Sabrina, the grass trainer. I didn't want to face her earlier because 1, she's going to outspeed me. Okay, now we might actually outspeed her. We are way a lot of levels higher. Okay, I go for Ice Beam. Ice Beam, it does not knock it out, and this puts me in a very bad spot. Luckily, I have high enough defense that I was able to avoid that and get a Gen 1 miss on Razor Leaf. So I'm like, okay, you know, let's just lean into our high attack stat and our high damaging move, and we beat the next 2. So I think Earthquake probably would have beat Victory Bell if I'd gone for that instead of what I did. So now we're on to Blaine's gym. Not a lot to talk out in Blaine's gym. He's got some weird things going on in his gym. He's got burglars and scientists everywhere. Blaine is a cakewalk. None of his moves are going to be super effective. We don't have a badge boosting move yet, so we can't like set up or anything. But none of his moves are super effective at all. So, and now we're just adding some power points to some moves. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. Earthquake. There we go. And we're just adding power points to these moves. What it does, this gives us a couple extra PP, so we don't have to go heal as often to replenish our power points. And like I said, these battles are very trivial. There's nothing too much about them. Also, like with Rhyhorn, I didn't go over this. Rhyhorn has a unique set of skills, kind of like Liam Neeson from Taken, but he's unique in the fact that as a rock ground standing up rhinoceros, he can learn Water Gun, Bubble Beam, Surf, Ice Beam, and Blizzard. It blows my mind that this Pokemon can do that. I don't know how it would surf. Maybe it's got some good buoyancy. I don't know. But it can learn Surf nonetheless. We don't teach Surf because Surf, once we teach it, we can't unlearn it. There's no move deleter in Generation 1. I know in future gens there is, but there's no move deleter. So if we teach Surf, we're in it for the long haul. And it's not really that great a move, to be honest. It's great if you're a water type or you don't have another option. It's good for coverage things. But for us, it's not great. It coincides with our special. And when you get in the late game, there's not a lot of things we're going to come across that are weak to water that they're not also weak to ice. You have one Pokemon. You have like a fire Pokemon from your rival, and I think that's Arcanine. So Arcanine would be weak to Surf. However, Ice Beam is better against like rock type. It's also better against dragon type. You're going to come across both of those. So look how little Ice Beam does. It just doesn't do that much. But we hang on to it solely for the sake of being able to use it in Elite Four. It also can be used against Pidgeot, our rival's first Pokemon. So that's useful as well. So Earthquake, one shot on the Growlithe. Very good. Are we going to go for 4 knockouts here? We've got a Retroactive Super Potion. That's amazing. Okay. Rapidash, we don't go first, but we do knock it out. And Arcanine, he'll probably go first. Fire Blast doesn't do much, and we one-shot it. So 4 up, 4 down. Good morning, good evening, good night. 4 knockouts. That's J-Rose 11. That's his thing. That's not mine. I won't do it again. And now we're facing our 6th rival fight. So the 6th rival fight in Silphco. The opposition comes out with Pidgeot. We use Rock Slide, knock it out in 1 hit. Very good. Gyarados comes out, same thing. We axe out speed too, which is good. If he sped first, he might knock us out. We'd be walled off here, but we're fine. Growlithe, 1-hit knockout. Alakazam goes first because he does outspeed us, but we get the 1-hit knockout. We level up, which isn't a big deal, and we are not learning that move. That move can go to hell. And then we have one more Pokemon, and we get a 1-hit knockout with our super effective stab move. On a grass type Pokemon. Actually, I expected to hit once and have to use it twice, but not the case. So now we're facing Giovanni. Giovanni, like I said, is just as easy as his last couple fights. Earthquake, 1 knockout. Kangaskhan, 1 knockout. That's 2. Rhyhorn, 3 knockouts. That's 3. And Nidoqueen is a 1-hit knockout. Even though she's very bulky, I was kind of surprised at that at first. However, we get the win, and now we move on to Sabrina. Sabrina, the Psychic type trainer. Now her Pokemon have special moves. They're all special with no bulk. And Sabrina and her whip. And we come out with Kadabra. Gonna go for Earthquake. He does about 30 damage, 32 damage, 42 damage to us. Knockout. We get stuck. We get paralyzed. But I'm like, you know what? Let's trek forward. Maybe we can still win this. We just have to hit 1 time. And we don't have to hit 1 time. We have to hit more than 1 time. However, he uses Psywave, which is the worst move in the game. And we get the win against Sabrina and her whip. And we go against the final Giovanni fight. The epic conclusion of the Giovanni Downfall trilogy. And how epic is this? Well, let's just go for it. Ice Beam is a 1-shot on the Rhyhorn. Hey, that's not us. That was us, but it's not us anymore. Dig does a decent amount of damage, but Ice Beam 1-shots the Dugtrio. Nidoqueen comes out. We use Earthquake. It's a 1-shot. Is Nidoking a 1-shot? It should be. It should be. There we go. Nidoqueen is more bulky, so if something knocks out Nidoqueen 1-shot, it usually knocks out Rhyhorn. And that was us. That was Rhydon. That was us. And we beat Giovanni and move on to our rival fights. So our rival fights at this point, this one can be tricky. It's one of the tougher ones because his team is like evolved. It's synergized pretty well. And we're going to go for Rock Slide to get the knockout very good. Rhyhorn comes out. We're going to go for Ice Beam, get the knockout very good. Gyarados, Hydro Pump will knock me out in 1 shot. So we don't outspeed the Gyarados right now. So we're 7 levels higher. It's caught up to us in speed. We outsped it earlier. We don't outspeed it anymore. So what this means for us is we're going to try this one more time, I think. We're going to try it one more time. But we do want to add the move Mimic at one point. What Mimic's going to do is going to let us mimic a move off of Pidgeot that lets us be able to outspeed the Gyarados and the Alakazam. Because if we didn't outspeed the Gyarados, the Alakazam is definitely going to be 1. So that Hydro Pump's a 1-shot. It's going to 1-shot every single time. So we leave. And, okay, so let's try this again. I think we'll give it one more try, see if it's like a speed tie. I think that's what it is, actually. No, I don't leave and go get Mimic. Here's why. So we don't have Mimic yet. Rock Slide's been a 1-shot on Pidgeot. That's pretty consistent. Okay? On Rhyhorn, Ice Beam has been a 1-shot. That's pretty consistent. Now, on Gyarados, it's actually a speed tie. I did not know that. I thought we were just getting outsped. Maybe we just need 1 more level. But it was a speed tie. So when you have a speed tie, the game basically flips a coin, and either one of you go first. It's randomized. So on those 2 losses, we are randomized to go first. And we get knocked out here. So that's good that we know that now. So that'll help us out. We don't have enough bang for our buck to go through. So I went and got a move and came back. So now we have the move Mimic. Mimic will help us immensely because it lets us initiate the badge boost glitch. If you don't know what the badge boost glitch is, really quick. In Generation 1, I'm going to pause it. In Generation 1, there's a mechanic in the game where every badge you get, every odd numbers badge, a better way to describe it, you get a boost in your attacks by 12.5%. Okay? Or you boosting your stat by 12.5%. So whenever I beat Brock, if someone leers me after that, I get a 12.5 boost in my attack stat every time someone leers me in battle. Okay, even though it's dropping my defense, it is a stat modifier, so that re-adds to the stat that is attack. Okay, so the way we can use that is we can mimic a move that can modify one of our stats. So for example, we're mimicking agility off of the Pidgeot. Pidgeot can't really do anything to us. It doesn't have sand attack anymore, so we're not like a hurry to knock it out. Any move it has will be futile. It won't do any damage. So we're going to mimic agility off of Pidgeot. Okay, and what that does is when we use it, we can boost our speed. So first off, that's good because now we can outspeed the Gyarados, we can outspeed the Alakazam. What it also does is it boosts our attack, defense, and special stat by 12.5% every time we do the increase on the speed. Now, if we level up in battle, it does erase the other stat modifiers, but it keeps the speed fast. Same thing if I had Swords Dance, and Swords Dance ups your attack stat by 2 stages. When I evolve, the boost in the attack stat stays while everything else reverts back to the normal stats that the Pokemon has. So I just want to explain that. Don't go over it very much in my playthroughs, but I want to go over it here. So we mimic agility, and we go for agility 3 times. And we just do it one more time for good measure, just to make sure it's done. And we use Rock Slide. Rock Slide is a one-shot. Very good. One shot on the Rhyhorn. Earthquake, it'll either one, Earthquake or Ice Beam, but I don't have Ice Beam anymore. So now we definitely outspeed the Gyarados. We do, very good. Now the question is, do we outspeed the, not the Growlithe, the Alakazam? Alakazam is the one that could be scary here because, okay, Psychic could be, massive attack, and also this one's pretty scary too. And we outspeed and knock it out in one hit. So that's how much different and how much the complexity of the battle changes when you badge boost. Now we're on to Elite Four with Lorelei. Lorelei comes out with Dugong. Dugong is going to go for an attack first, and then she should rest on next turn, but she doesn't get that chance. And then we're going to go for Earthquake on the Cloyster. Ice Beam or Roar Beam does a decent amount of damage, and then we knock it out in 2 hits. Very good. Slowbro is exciting because now we can mimic a move. It's called Amnesia. Amnesia and boosts your special by a stage. Okay, but what that also does is just like with agility, it boosts it does the badge boost. So now our speed is higher. Now our attack is higher. Now our special is always higher, and defense, all higher. So I think it just did like a water gun to me, and it's not doing all that much damage. That's because our special's higher and our defense is higher. Jinx is going to be a one shot no matter what we use. Very good. And Lapras, let's see if it's a one-shot with Lapras. We don't have a Thunderbolt anymore because I thought it wasn't worth keeping. So we beat Lorelei, and we move on to Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. I'm saving right now. I think that's what I'm doing. We don't talk about him very much because his team is kind of garbage. But let's look at the battle. Battle comes up. There's Bruno, sitting Indian style. And he brings out his Onix. Now, just for safety purposes, I probably could have shaved off a couple seconds here by just not doing this. But for safety purposes, I decided to go ahead and mimic a move off of him called Harden. I'm sorry. And it makes this battle very trivial. Everything in this battle, everything is a one-hit knockout. Well, let me not declare that because I don't know about the Machamp. I think it is. I think the Machamp's a one-hit knockout. Should be. It's not. It's very close, but Machamp's very bulky. Very rarely do Pokemon one-shot Machamp. So now we move on to Agatha, and Agatha has what J. Rose 11 calls the Agatha Lottery. She has a lot of ways she can poison you, paralyze you, put you to sleep, confuse you, and she uses every one of them. Now we have Earthquake. Earthquake should be a very powerful one-shot to most of her Pokemon because it's very powerful and it's very effective against her Pokemon. The only problem is we don't outspeed, and we have no way to badge boost with Agatha, so we have to kind of endure and just deal with it. But we are one-shotting everything. We have just above 100, a little bit below half health. And Earthquake is also one-shot. Again, we get to knock out. No sleep strats for us. So that's the first time victory. So now we're moving on to Lance. Now Lance, we're going to outspeed the Gyarados and one-shot it. Very good. That could have been bad. He's going to go for Hydro Pump every time, so very bad. And we're going to mimic agility. off for Dragonair. Now, Dragonair is not going to attack us. She's just going to use Agility. Okay? And the reason why, good AI. It sees me as a as a rock move Pokemon, and it's going to be see, hey, let's use the most effective move. So it ain't doing squat. Actually, I think it did do squat. Rock Slide, and there's nothing it can really do. So very good. We beat Lance, and now we're moving on to the final trainer. Now this takes a couple turns. Takes a couple turns because up to this point, most of the battles, except for Agatha, I use the badge boost glitch to help solidify a victory. Okay? And Pidgeot no longer has agility. So I'm going to go for Rock Slide. It's a one-hit knockout, very good. It means to go into the Alakazam with max health. And all I got to do is hit it with something hard, like Earthquake or Body Slam. Get the knockout, very good. Go on the Rhyhorn. Now Rhyhorn acts as the key to winning this battle, which you'll see here in a minute. We do not outspeed the Gyarados. We got very lucky and I hit the wrong thing. We still get the Rock Slide, which is very good. So now we're moving on to our last two Pokemon. Arcanine won't do much to us, so I'm not too worried about Arcanine. But really, it's Venusaur. We're not gonna, knock it out in one hit. It resists rock moves, rock ground moves, whatever. Go for Earthquake. And Solar Beam, it's going for Solar Beam. It's gonna knock us out first try. Now we don't outspeed either. So that was the other thing. She went, our rival went first. Okay, so now we're going back to here, and we're gonna see if there's a different strategy. So one thing we can do, we can't use Mimic for anything. So let's just go ahead and add Blizzard. That's my thought process. Let's add a super effective damaging move that we might be able to use on. What did I get rid of there? She just got rid of Mimic. Okay, I guess I got rid of Body Slam. That's what I did. So now we're facing our rival again, and he brings out a Pidgeot. Pidgeot's not a big deal. Rock Slide has been a one shot, I think, consistently, and did a whopping 7 damage to us. So big deal there. Earthquake. Let's see if we can knock it out. Even with, we almost blocked it out. Even with the Reflect. So it goes to Reflect again. I don't know why. I don't know why it went for Reflect again. But it is what it is. Blizzard's a one shot. Now, like I said, Rhyhorn is the key to winning this battle, and you'll see why here in a minute. But Hydro Pump is going to one shot me. Yep, knocks me completely out. So there's not much you can do. Like, we have our best moves for the most part. The only thing we can do maybe is get Hyper Beam. That's not going to help us. Okay, we need to get faster. We don't have a way of getting faster with our own moves. I don't know why I'm getting rid of Body Slam. Mimic is the better move to get rid of right now, but it is what it is. And so now we're preparing to go and fight our rival again. And this is a championship fight. Where are we at with time? Oh, okay, we got a couple minutes left. So we're getting close to the actual championship bout that actually wins us the game. So I keep saying Rhyhorn is the key to winning this. He really is. So I don't know if this is the turn the attempt that we actually beat him, but here's why Rhyhorn is the key. So Rhyhorn has a let's say history. He has like of going for moves like Tail Whip, like Leer, and he does it consistently. He does it again. So that was another badge boost I just got from him just for that. So we're faster now. We can do more damage. Our special's higher and our defense is higher. So, or actually, our defense is lower because he lowered our defense. So our Earthquake was not a one-shot last time we faced Arcanine. Now it is. Okay. So we're gonna go for Blizzard. It doesn't knock it out, and it knocks it out one hit. Now the reason why I didn't knock it out is because, like I said, our special is not extremely high. So we probably should have gone for Earthquake. It's a more powerful, higher move, and we get stab out of it, and probably would have knocked him out one hit. So now that's the key to this battle. So that is a strategy you can use against your rival if you need the badge boost to beat the last couple Pokemon. Now usually you need the badge boost to get by Alakazam too, because Alakazam is pretty fast. So we take no damage there. Okay, Earthquake, we take a little bit of damage here. It's actually a decent amount of damage. It's about 72 damage. So a lot of damage there. So I'm going to go for Rock Slide. It's not going to knock him out. And what I want is, I don't care if he Fury attacks me. I don't care. If we get hit by the next 3 Pokemon anyway, we're going to get knocked out. But our goal is not to avoid getting hit. Our goal is to get badge boosted. Let a Leer like that hit. Okay. He does a full restore, which I'm fine with. I'm fine. He's got nothing that's going to do a lot of damage to me. Okay. Nothing that does a lot of damage. All of his moves are normal type. Except for like maybe, I don't think he has Fissure. But I wanted to do one more like Leer or Tail Whip or something like that. So that, yep, there we go. And I think I got enough. I think I got 3 badge boosts out of them. So I'm like, you know what? That should be good. Let's see what happens now. So we outspeed the Gyarados. We get the 1 shot on the Gyarados. Very good. And I actually, weird that I usually miss rock slides a lot more, and I haven't missed one yet. It's very weird. So now we're down to the Venusaur. Do we outspeed? We do. Do we do enough damage? It's a 1 shot. It's not a 1 shot. Mega Drain does not do enough damage to knock me out, though. All I do is hit a move. Just hit a move, and we knock out the Venusaur. Very good. Very good. I was so excited. We're not going to get this under an hour and 50 minutes, though. We are seconds away from that. However, we do get this in way under our estimated time. Our estimated time was, like very optimistic time was like 1:55, an hour and 55 minutes to 2 hours. And I thought like a more realistic time was like 2 hours and 5 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes. But we get this knocked out in 1 hour and 50 minutes and 18 seconds. So I'm just going to pause that. So that is, honestly, I'm very impressed with this playthrough. I came into this with the expectation that Rhyhorn and Rhydon, where the stats were bad, were going to kill us. But its moveset synergizes very well with its stats. Defense is good. Physical damaging moves is good. You actually get a lot of access to other moves just for those little battles where you might need to have be like Ice Beam or Blizzard, where you might need it. It's just enough for that, and it just worked so well. I actually really want to play a versus series where I play Rhydon versus Golem, and I want to see how that plays through. Because I think Rhydon from the beginning could actually get a much better time than this. And the reason why I think that is because, so Rhyhorn had issues with things because it couldn't learn like Water Gun, so there's a lot of moves we could not learn. We couldn't learn Bubble Beam from Misty. There's a lot of moves we could not learn, and having a higher special earlier would make those moves a little bit better. So potentially, I might do a versus series in the future. That's way in the future. I don't plan on doing versus series at least until I'm done with my Generation 1 playthrough of the entire Pokemon 151 journey in order. So the next Pokemon, if you know your Pokemon in Generation 1, is actually Chansey. So that's going to be exciting. I'm probably going to start playing that today. Today is Friday that you're watching this. Today I'm filming this is actually June 6th. It's my birthday. If you get here, just say happy birthday. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Does this exceed your expectations? It drastically exceeded mine. So let me know what you think. Have a good one, and see ya.